Hello, welcome to Too Much Willie Nelson. Today I have from 1978 an album called Willie and Family Live. And this is a mighty double album in the big thick brick. Oh, today I'm going to try something new and different. You know most of these songs. This record sold a ton of copies back in the day. But I found an article from the Dallas Daily News written by Pete Opel from September the 7th, 1978. And it's called The Undisputed King of Country Music. And it sets sail from Lake Tahoe, which is where this was made at that very point in time. And so here's the story. I'm going to try to read it for you. It's long, but it's worth doing. South Lake Tahoe, Nevada, the baby grand Steinway piano in Willie Nelson's hotel suite is flanked by a window overlooking Nevada and a flight of stairs leading to a bedroom overlooking California. Nelson, dressed in blue jeans, a blue t-shirt, and blue tennis shoes, is conferring with an official-looking gentleman in a conservative blue suit. Everything else in the room, with the exception of the piano and six huge pillows in various shades of red, maroon, orange, is beige or crystal. The sofa, the fireplace, the chairs, the thick carpet, the magazine rack, even the bar and the stereo system. Nelson's conference is interrupted by a woman's voice from the kitchen dining area located in a loft of the split-level suite. "Dinner is served, Mr. Nelson." Let's see, Mr. Nelson. Willie Nelson, the one-time door-to-door book salesman from Abbott, Texas, who has played every gin joint from Key West to Puget Sound, has come a long way from the days of knocking about in Nashville and playing on the back of a flatbed truck for the opening of a Ford dealership in some one-horse town. Nelson is in the middle of a 2-week engagement at the luxurious Harrah's Hotel in Lake Tahoe, an engagement interrupted by a one-night-only performance at the White House. Nelson rushes through his meal, one of the few times he rushes through anything, and walks back into the living room. He strolls around the couch and sits. He looks at luxury that surrounds him and remembers those earlier days, shows in unlavish places such as the Panther Hall in Fort Worth or the Sportsatorium in Dallas, where Nelson returns Wednesday night, exactly 1 week from his White House gig, for a show with Delbert McClinton, they spelled it wrong, and Ray Wiley Hubbard. Harrah's, Panther Hall, and the Sportsatorium, they're all beer joints, says Nelson. Upholstery's just a little bit better in some. People flock to Harrah's from all over the western United States to see Willie. The once maligned by Nashville recording executive singer is the toast of the town, the undisputed king of country music. His infamous picnics made him a king in Texas. His recording of Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain made him a god in national country music circles. Willie Nelson has reached the stage where he can take a non-country song like Blue Eyes and convert it to a #1 country single. He is to be sought as a major motion picture star and has 3 movies in the works. The Songwriter, a movie based on his album Red-Headed Stranger. The Ultimate Measure of Success, a project with a working title of The Willie Nelson Story. And what has Nelson done to generate all of this recent acclaim? What has he done differently to change the way country music establishment regards him in the past couple of years? The answer is absolutely nothing. Our music is good, and I think it took people a long time for anyone to hear it, Nelson says. And the people who hear it, they like it, and they want to come and see a show. I haven't changed. I'm doing basically the same thing I've been doing all along. While Nelson was one of the first in a breed of country singers labeled progressive country, there really is nothing progressive about Nelson's style. In fact, if anything, Nelson's music is rooted in the simplistic patterns of Hank Williams, Kitty Wells, and Roy Acuff. I've never really left the old style, Willie says. The term progressive country was applied to the appearance of people who were playing the music and really didn't have anything to do with the music itself. When a guy had long hair, he played progressive country. If he had short hair, he played AM Top 40 country. The strange thing about Willie Nelson's success story is that it was the young people, the crowd with a musical diet of Jefferson Airplane, The Doors, Big Brother and Holding Company, that first tuned into Willie Nelson and responded to his songs. The music has always been something that they always would have liked. They just had to been associated with it. They just didn't have a place to go and listen. Then they found that they could go to the Armadillo in Austin, and hear good country music. They'd been hungry for it all along. They had been hearing their parents play it while they were playing rock and roll, creating a separation there. There was a barrier between rock and roll and country for so long because the parents liked country and the kids liked rock and roll. So somewhere along the way, there had to be an agreement of some kind, and the kids made a concession. If there was a concession to be made because they were listening to the same kind of music their parents were listening to, I don't know if they realized they were conceding anything or not. Willie Nelson performs 2 shows a night at Harrah's. There's the band again. The audience at the 8:15 dinner show consists of well-heeled because Harrah's showcase is the place to be at Lake Tahoe. The second show, which begins at midnight, draws the hardcore Nelson fanatics. They whistle, they stomp, they cheer, they shout. I'm guessing they probably drink too. They won't let Willie leave the stage, forcing him back for 7 encores. And Willie gives them a show they will not soon forget. The songs are the same, but Willie and the band play them with abandon. The instrumental jam on Whiskey River, that's on here as well, a song that he sings 3 times for an ecstatic second show audience, sounds more like the Allman Brothers Band than the hard-line country music. But this is Willie Nelson. His version of George on My Mind in these late-night shows has an ending that redefines the term country soul. His treatment of Amazing Grace is pure enough to reform the gamblers who are tossing silver dollars into slot machines, onto craps tables, and around roulette wheels, and in the general direction of blackjack dealers not more than a couple of 100 feet from the stage where Willie Nelson is singing. Even so, more in places like this, the song is enjoyed because it is so different than what they're hearing around them, says Nelson. They can get into a song like Amazing Grace and Will the Circle Be Unbroken because they don't expect to find it here. But most of the people here can afford to be here. There's nobody here that's throwing their rent money away, I don't think, he says. Hopefully the excitement of a Willie Nelson performance in the atmosphere will be captured on this next album. My next release is a live album. The last time I was here, I cut a live album. The new album will be coming out in October. The album, a 2-record set, will contain all of the familiar Nelson songs, plus his recent version of Rodney Crowell's Till I Gain Control Again, which he has recently included in his shows. It will not include any new Nelson compositions. I've got some new songs, She's Gone, Angel Flying Too Close to the Ground, and Is the Better Part Over? I want to get enough for a new album. I want to have a whole album of new songs, says Willie. Willie says the picnics, those 4th of July happenings, were either a musical extravaganza, depending on your point of view, are not history. The status of the picnics is the same every year after year after year of the picnics, I guess. No one knows what's going to happen next year. In 1978, the picnic came during the Texas World Music Festival at the Cotton Bowl. There's a jam for you. The accommodations were great, the stage was fine, the sound was good, the show was good. But I don't think the atmosphere was the 4th of July picnic atmosphere, says Willie. I would have been a lot more comfortable out there in a pasture somewhere, but personally, I would have liked that more. The Cotton Bowl would be a good place to do a show in a cooler time of year. But for the 4th of July, it would be better to have it outside where you can have a breeze, a lake you can go swim in. And I think people enjoy the fact that they are not that well controlled Everything is too easy at the Cotton Bowl. I mean, you can get a snow cone, a drink of water, go to the bathroom. That's not a picnic. You're supposed to be rougher than that, says Willie. Willie Nelson is 45 years old, and to many people around the country who learned about Willie through Blue Eyes, an overnight success. A real Cinderella story, says Willie with a laugh. Not only has he seen it all, but he's played every place he's seen. Now Willie has just about done it all. He's gone from the very bottom to the very top. Is there any reason I can't go longer? He has every thought about getting out of the rat race he's sentenced himself to. Well, that thought comes up every often, but I enjoy playing. If I didn't go out and play with my band on the road, I'd be out in some other joint somewhere with just me and my guitar and a bunch of guys I don't even know because I like to play. And as long as I have my health and I can travel around and do it, I'm going to do it. And I'll quit when I get tired of playing music. That's amazing. So that was, again, in case you just joined us, like why would you join us at the end? A story from the Dallas Daily News, September 17th, 1978 by Pete Opal, and the story is called Willie Nelson, the undisputed king of country. Thanks for stopping by. Too much Willie Nelson. That's going to do it for today.